Well, hello there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lesley Pazdzioch, and I am the founder of Inspiring Creative Insight, as well the learning platform, Living from the Inside Out, and a new podcast that I'm working on, Life Made Easier. Today, I would like to take some time through this live video and really share some insight that I think is incredibly valuable and that will add a great deal of value to not only to everyone that actually watches the video as well. Hopefully, you will share the content if you found it to be helpful to you. Before I begin, I would like to start off like I always do and just take a moment, just breathe, relax yourself, and I would really like for your cooperation and just ask yourself go within and just ask yourself internally if what Lesley says during this video is true and correct. Please show me something. This is something that I'm going to be doing on every video because I think it's very important right now for us to be led, in our lives. I know that it's important for us to be led through our lives, those on a spiritual path, led through our lives by our higher divine self, our divine connection leads us in our lives. So if you just take a few moments, ask them to, and let's just really center and just ask if what Lesley says in this video is true and right for me. Please show me, and then ask them to show you something. It can be anything. It can be a button, whatever. And if you don't see it right now, that's fine because we're going to continue through this video. But I'd still like you to take the time to ask yourself and really contemplate on the information that you find in this video, because I truly know that it's highly valuable. It's going to be inspiring, and it's something that over the next year is going to be incredibly valuable and for years to come. So now, because the question might not be answered, if what I say is true or not, if it, obviously it's not going to be answered right away. So I would like you to just ask your higher divine self the next question, and this is to not only validate what I'm saying, but to also validate to you within yourself that you are truly being led, and that this guidance is available to you, that you don't have to earn it, that you do have to earn it. However, it's not the way it's been presented to us in our lifetime, that we have this divine guidance that leads us through our lives continuously. It's always been there. It will always be there from the time that we are born until the time that we pass. We have spiritual entities that guide us throughout our lifetime, and that there's a whole area or section and part of divinity, the holy divine, that is dedicated to humanity's guidance and survival. And if we think about it honestly, I'm going to go off a little bit, but if we really think about this for a moment, if we're not even aware that this is available to us, but we're still here and we're safe, right? We get through stuff. If we have a pulse and we're breathing, we still have a purpose. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose, right? And so I'd just like to just imagine for a moment, because this is really going to key into this video. But in this video, we're going to be talking, that's what I want to be talking about, is how to allow this entity, this our creator, our divine creator's entity, how does this guide us? How does this prayer work? And how do we hear the answers? And what is this life all about? And sometimes I know there's going to be many, especially those directly affected by the catastrophic fires and and the earthquakes. There's a lot of environmental shifts and changes and upheaval and destruction, I guess, if you could call it that, that's fine, being directly affected by this. And then there's the rest of us that are being adversely affected by it. Just because if you watching this video are directly affected, I want you to know that you are not alone. Not only do you have this guidance that's here to bless you and help you through it, that the rest of us, all of humanity, is all connected. We're all connected to each other. And this is important to remember as we go through this video, because it's going to have a lot of significance in the information that I share going forward. The next thing I just want you to know, now to just make certain that that is there for you, I just want you to just sit for a moment. You know, just relax your body, relax your mind for a minute, and just ask. Ask your divine, ask your divinity, ask your higher self, if you are truly there for me, if you are really there, and you were created to guide me throughout my lifetime, let me feel you. And when you ask this question, if you ask it with genuine sincerity, you are going to have a chill that runs through you. It's almost like cold or just a tingling. Honestly, it's almost, it really kind of resembles orgasms in a way, but it's this rush, this tingle. It's the most beautiful feeling. It's exciting. It's comforting when you can have that. And I can tell you that is the feeling, that feeling that comes through you, that tingly feeling when you are guided through your life with divinity. If you walk with your higher self and that divinity, that feeling is with you constantly. When that feeling goes away, that's an indication that you have lost your connection with your higher source. And the way you get it back is by feeling your way through whatever situation that you're in at the time. Or you choose, if you're thinking poorly or you're struggling with something in your life and you are looking at it more in a negative aspect or unrealistic aspect, then you are in a possibility or the truth or a higher reality is the best way that I can explain it. Then you just have to, this is a question that you really have to ask yourself. It's not something that I can really tell you because I'm not you, right? I can tell you from my perspective that when you lose that and you're really looking for it again, only you know what you're feeling at the time, to where you can take your emotions, talk to yourself, have a conversation with yourself. This is what I call introducing yourself to yourself. This is part of the process. And that you start to really bring those feelings back to you. And the better you feel, the closer you get. The better you feel, the better you think, the more optimistic, the more hope. I want to say hopeful, but it's like optimism. It's like surety. It's like you just know that they're there. And you can even ask for, please help me with my thoughts, especially when you're spiraling down those moments when you feel like, oh my gosh, just my thought process is just, it's like spiraling down Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole, right? Because it does happen. It does happen. And the reason that it happens, very important right here, this is a little side note, but the reason it happens is because your mind is creative. You are here, you are born, you are human. Your job here is to create. That's why you are here, is to create. This is why your mind keeps spinning down or spinning up, depending on where your thought process started and where you were emotionally, within your emotions and within your actions. If your emotions and your actions were in line with your highest self, and that's how you were going through your day, and you have this epiphany, your thoughts will go up. Your thoughts, your creativity in your mind will get larger and it will increase. When it's the opposite, that's when we hit that spiral. That's when anxiety, depression, self-loathing, all those negative um, things, those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, fear, resentment, all that, that's when all that comes into play. And that's how you know when to get back into that place of balance. It's your inner peace and harmony with where you are at every moment of your time. You need to maintain that inner peace and harmony within yourself. And that means your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions. Actually, it's your emotions, your thoughts. Emotions and thoughts are really kind of go hand in hand. And then your actions follow, right? Your actions will follow. And then, and sometimes you'll have to, later on you'll realize, oh, you made a mistake. You can always go back and fix it, but that's another video. That's not what I want to talk about right here. What I really want to talk about, now that we have this basis, if you feel these feelings, and this is how you get your connection back to your higher self, right? The divine aspect of you. This is how you get back into that alignment. This is going to be very important that you remember that. And let me just reiterate, because these times that we're going to start moving through, this is going to be very, very important for your well-being and for the well-being of those around you. And so I'm just going to really quickly, they're saying redo it. Very quickly, what happens is you need to do whatever it takes from here going forward in life to maintain an inner peace and harmony with everything that's around you. That's going to be very crucial in the next coming days, months, years, and going forward, really. But truly, it's going to be a really, really beautiful thing, and it's going to come to us. We're going to be, it's going to be a very gentle, very beautiful experience for those who engage in this, in this, what I call embracing the new normal, because that's where we're in a time right now that we need to start embracing this new normal and start walking through it. Whenever you choose, if you choose to embrace it or you choose not to, it's up to you. You were born with free will. But this is the options and these are the opportunities that are being given to all of humanity. All of humanity right now is given a second chance. We're all being given a second chance. And with all this upheaval and everything going on, and a lot of people are asking, why is God doing this? Why is God doing this? God is not doing this. God is not creating any evil. He's not angry. He's not doing anything. He's answering our prayers. He's answering our prayers to know who we are, why we're here. He's answering our dreams. He's answering our desires. He's answering the prayers that we as a humanity around the world, around the globe, we've all been asking for this internally. You can call it subconscious, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But when 50% of the United States and is on, antidepressants, and then there's, um, uh, like marijuana and other recreational drugs being used to soothe and to calm ourselves, right? We've been asking for a long time. We've been asking for a really long time. And while it's not going to come, the answer is not going to come in the way we perhaps at this moment in time are expecting it to happen. It's going to come in the way that it's meant to happen, where it's best for us to happen. Not only for us as an individual, but us as a collective, all of humanity. Okay, that's what's happening. Now it's really important. It's really important to not be hard on yourself right now if you're one of those people that use recreational drugs or marijuana or alcohol and what have you. I'm going to tell you that what I'm going to be sharing in this video and in future videos to come will give you an opportunity to get rid of those substances, because you will no longer need them. You will no longer need them to soothe you internally, because you are going to know how to do this for yourself. And here's why. Because you are here, my beautiful friend, you're here about you, because of you, and for you. That is your life. Your life is about you, for you, and because of you. And the reason that so many people are doing recreational drugs and drinking, excessively, that's because and I'm going to be really honest with you, you are a sensitive person that is doing, no matter what you do, you don't feel enough. You don't feel adequate. You don't feel worthy. And you keep trying and trying and trying, but you're fighting this internal battle that you don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to fight it, because I'm going to tell you right here and now, you are perfect just the way you are on the inside. Everything about you, my sweet friend, from in here is perfect. It's beautiful. You're exactly where you need to be. And you need to be right here, right now, so that we can walk through it. Because this is a time to embrace your new normal. Because, my friend, if you follow, if you take what resonates with you, and I'll explain that. But in these videos, if you begin to take what starts to resonate with you and put it into play into your life is going to change in ways that is unbelievable. You are going to start living with purpose, with meaning, with passion, with desire. You are going to start living your life the way it was intended. You will live it through divine guidance, living from the inside out, from the very core essence of who you are, you beautiful soul. And you are going to love your life, because you are supposed to. That is why you're here, is to love this beautiful life, because you have a great purpose to achieve and to succeed, and to create. And that was your promise when you came here. You made a promise to your holy creator that you would do certain things, that you would accomplish something. And God gave you the gifts and the talents, and your holy divine gave you your holy creator, um, the almighty creator. Let's call him the almighty creator, because that works for every religion here. The almighty creator gave every single one of us a task and responsibilities. And he said, you can do whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. Create. This is why we have manifestations. This is what manifestation is all about. Manifestation is aligning with your higher self and creating the life that you wish to create. And that is why you are here. But in order to meet one of the things that you have to that we all have to understand is that we have a purpose. We have a soulful, we have a life purpose, and a life purpose we have a soul purpose on our life journey. So as we go through our lives, this is a journey, our life journey, right? But our soul has specific things that it needs to accomplish, not only so that it can grow and expand and become what our soul needs to achieve on a spiritual level. We also have a responsibility on a human perspective, on an earthly perspective. And the way we grow our soul has a lot to do with how and what we do in this lifetime. In fact, the two are together. They go hand in hand. But the key is you have to follow your divine guidance, or you have no idea what your soul purpose is. You have no idea. And here's something that just came to my head. They're saying that now I just lost. No. We have to follow this divine guidance. We're here to create whatever we want. They don't tell us what to do, what we're supposed to be creating. Our lives are not pre-paved for us. They're not pre-paved for us. A lot of misconception that people have had for a long time is that our lives were pre-paved. The only pre-paved portion is that we have a responsibility to grow our soul, to live our lives a certain way, and to create something that not only adds to us, grows our soul as in our human form, because we're doing this humanly, and we also add value to humanity. We add value to ourselves. We add value to humanity. Use a doctor, for instance. If his tasks and his gifts are direct him towards medical surgery, whatever it is, right? And he just is. My uncle, my great uncle, his Chess Powell, he was an incredible brain surgeon back in the day. He actually bought an airplane so that he could fly to people, because the regular flights wouldn't get him where he needed to get. So he actually got his pilot's license and bought an airplane so he could help the people that he wanted to help. And you can look him up online. It's Chester Powell and the University of Utah Hospital. But that's not the point. The point is that we all have these gifts and these talents within us that we get to explore and decide what it is we want to do with it. This is what he chose. This is what my uncle chose to this is how he fulfilled something that made him vibrant, brought him, it brought life to him. It gave him a purpose. but he added to humanity. He added value to humanity. This is what I'm talking about. When we look within ourselves, we have to figure out what it is that lights us up, what feeds our desire, what can we do that for others, and what can we do for ourselves that makes us feel good, that adds value to who we are, whether it's a career or just a hobby or just personally, but gives back to others and makes others' lives better and easier. This is why we're here. But it has to be from purity of heart, pure of heart and soul. And when it's done from the purity of our hearts and soul, in honesty and integrity, we have this divine guidance that shows us the best path on how to go. Does that mean if we're not doing it in honesty and integrity that they're not going to guide us? No, that's not it at all. They're always there to guide us. Why do we think we have those negative feelings? Those negative feelings are their communication. Our feelings are one of the ways that we receive this communication, is one of the ways that we're guided. If we're feeling shame, blame, guilt, or whatever, that's them letting us know perhaps we made a poor choice, or we're thinking something that we should not be thinking, right? But our time here right now and what's going on in the world is we are all being given a second chance. And it's time for us to truly take advantage of this. And we can do it. We can take advantage of this opportunity by embracing this time, and how we can do this. I want to go back to what I said in the beginning about your authenticity. Think about how much of your life do you live, and how much of your inner value comes from living your life pleasing others. How much of your value comes from pleasing others? And how much of it does it come that you do things just for you, to please you? And is it really what's making you happy? Because a lot of the times I can tell you that when I ran a child care center, I did it for 20 years, and I loved the kids, and it was probably one of the greatest professions I ever had, because I loved these kids more than you could ever imagine. That job was second to being a flight attendant, but that's another story. Anyway, I had parents that sometimes would set expectations on me that they wanted for themselves, for their children, or what have you, but they weren't taking the time or whatever to do it for themselves. But then they kept raising the bar. That's not a really good example. Maybe it is. I would try my very best to make sure they were happy, because if they were happy, then I could be happy. But if they weren't happy, then I didn't feel that value, right? But in reality, and many of us live that way, we even do it to other people. Not only is it done to us, we do it to other people. We expect things from other people, and if they perform the way we want them to, then we praise them, or we give them if they do what we're expecting, then they're part of, then they're in, right? Then they're in with us. Then we love them, or we appreciate them, or not even appreciate them, but we're just expecting others to do what we want them to do. And that's how these relationships are formed. And that's not only, and we do it back to other people, right? But these are situations where the outside world in these relationships are what we are basing our personal value and worth on what other people think, what other people say, us meeting other people's expectations. And friends, that's not the way we're supposed to be doing this. That's not the way we're supposed to be doing this. The way that we are supposed to be living is when we live with authenticity, when we live with our values, when we live our values, when we live authentically, and we are truly our true self, right? Our true self from the inside out, from that core being, from that loving, um, God-like, Christ-like presence, right? When we live our lives from that perspective, and we allow others to do the same. This is living your authentic self. This is living the life that we are supposed to be living. And there's going to be times when, there's going to be adjustments with it. And if you start putting this into your life, you have to start figuring out who you are and who other people are, and there's going to be coming together and going apart, there's going to be this violin effect of trying to figure out who you are and to connect with people in this world um, from authenticity, from that genuine, authentic self, from within that core being of who you are. And this is the opportunity, my friends, that we're being given, is to really dig deep inside of ourselves and figure out who we are. Does this mean that you start trashing all your relationships and stuff that you have currently? No, no, because this is going to be a process that humanity is going to be going through. It's going to be a process that is going to it's absolutely going to require a great deal of compassion, understanding. It's not only mostly within ourselves and for ourselves, because once we understand that and we give it to ourselves, we can give it to others. When we start living our personal truth. And this isn't going to be, this is meant to be a time, a beautiful time. This isn't meant to be a time of destruction. The only thing that's really being destroyed are things that weren't adding value, or the only things that will leave are the things that are not going to add value to you. That's it. But the things that are going to add that value to you are going to you're going to grow exponentially. It's going to be a process that is fun. It's a fun process. It's an exploration. Think of it as going on like a journey, or you're going to take an expedition, or it's like a new and exciting period, right? And the way we can get through it, the way you can get through it, and one of the things is that's very, very critical for people to understand through this process is that it has to be done for you, within you, and about you. And this is a time that you get to learn and you get to choose who you are. You're going to find that foundation that makes you you. And what more beautiful gift could come out of all of this than living the life that you're here to live. And this is when I said, we've been asking to be authentic. We've been asking to live our lives for us. We've been asking, for joy. We're asking for us to be able to be us. We want to be happy. We want to be prosperous. We want to feel enthusiasm. We want to be so in love with life that we live it like a child in an amusement park all day with no lines on the rides. And that we go from one ride to the next ride to the next ride to the next ride, and we have fun. Yes, some of the rides are going to make us sick to our stomachs. Some are going to be kind of boring and we didn't really, wasn't what we thought it would be. Some of them are going to be kind of jerky like an old roller coaster, and some of them are going to be an old roller coaster, right? But that's part of life. That's why we came. We came to experience these things and make choices and decisions and to say, oh, that made me me. That made me who I am. Does it mean we're not going to have challenges? Absolutely not. We're going to have challenges. But how beautiful would you feel? I mean, how would you feel about living your life, the road less painful? Less painful. By probably 80% for most. 80 to 90% less painful. How would it be to spend 90% of your life exploring and choosing and living in curiosity, in creativity, in learning, in growth and expansion? And those other 10 or 20%, those are the times when you really had to make those decisions and to make those, to figure out who you were. Maybe it's more than 10 or 20%. I don't know. Depends on the road that you decide to travel, right? But it's from those 10 to, let's say 10 to 30%, 10 to 40% of times in our lives when they're very challenging. Some of our, they vary on a scale from, sometimes they're kind of challenging, sometimes they're really challenging, sometimes they're really traumatic, right? But they all are there for a reason, and they're opportunities for us to learn more about ourselves, and we do that through our interactions with others. And when we put out, does this mean that when we put stuff out, then good things are going to come back? No, because that's like thinking that a raging bull is not going to charge you if you're a vegetarian. You get in a pen with it, it's going to charge you, right? We have to be responsible with our choices and what we're doing with our lives. We can't be careless. We can't be careless with our choices and our decisions. However, this is an opportunity that many are going to have to really look at and decide which side of history they're going to be on. And it's important to realize that this journey has to be taken for you, about you, and because of you. And the only way that you come out where you truly are meant to come out is through the guidance of your higher self, through your divine, through divinity, through your holy creator has this area. God knew that life was not going to be easy. He created the earth. He knew it wasn't easy. I mean, if God created the earth and everything, like if God created everything, He knew it wasn't going to be easy, right? He knew it wasn't going to be easy. And he gave us, he said, I want my children, humanity, to really have fun. I want them to have fun. I want them to experience some of the things that I experienced, but I want it to be easier for them, just like all parents, right? We all want it better for our children. We all want it better for our kids, right? God wanted it better for humanity. So he created this this part of the um, divine realm. We have guardian angels. We have all different kinds of entities there to guide us through our life. He created these guardian angels and these divine beings that just are dedicated to us, to our success. And when we don't succeed, that's when we come back. That's when our souls just keep coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back. You know, people talk about their previous lives or previous lives. You know, we have a purpose. Our souls have, you know, and there's a lot of different aspects that go on here, but our soul has a specific journey that it's on to become the very best that it can be. And when your soul becomes the very best that it can be, when it becomes near Christ-like perfection, it separates, it splits. Somewhere around this Christ, when we all Christ consciousness, when we start to hit that stage, right, where our soul is coming into pure perfection, and then it moves on to the next stage of itself, right? But truly, souls do split, and they have to. Your soul has an opportunity to really define itself with itself, mirroring, looking at who we are, how we act, and to become the best version of ourselves. That's why we're here. And honestly, who doesn't want to become and live every single day? Who wouldn't you want to just live every single day to your highest desires, to the highest expectations of what you want your life to be? Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to just be authentic and loving and caring and just burst from the inside out and be so giving and so gracious and just taking in love and taking in knowledge and sharing it with the world? Who wouldn't want to live in bliss like that? Are we going to have challenges? Absolutely. But nothing near the challenges that we're facing right now. And this is why all of this is coming up, is so that, you know, sometimes you got to stir the soil. You got to turn that soil, right, to plant new seeds. So that the ground we live on can be fertile and it can flourish and it can have new vegetation. And that's what's happening in the world right now. And while, yes, it can be challenging, this is part of the process that we can truly engage in. We can really participate in, and it can be it can be it can be one of the most challenging aspects, or we can look at it as being an opportunity to start again. And I bring this up because, and I know these things, and I'd like to give you a little bit of history before I end this video. There was a point in time in my life where I had to truly start over, and I was 40 years old, and I mean physically, mentally, melted down to absolutely nothing. Um, you know, there's a video I explain my story, but anyway, I was 5. I was like a 5-year-old, and I had to relearn how to do things. And I had to learn that, I mean, to the point where I had to learn that I had to go to the mailbox to get my mail. And I would do that, and I would bring it back, and I would throw it in baskets because I wasn't sure what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with a lot of different stuff. And there was about 3 years it took me to be able to function at probably like a 20-year-old level. 20-year-old level. I was 40. I don't know, about 43, 43, somewhere around there. And the journey that I took over the last 17 years has brought me to the point where I am today, to where I live, and I share this information because I live this life. When I was, when this all happened to me, when my whole life just crumbled and it left me shattered, and it was, they didn't think I was going to live. And it's the process that I went through that has brought me to where I am today. And while I would never go back and do it again, just like we would never want to have our homes burned down, we would never want to have floods, we would never want to have these catastrophes. It's the process that we go from here and move forward within ourselves is the key to our individual and soulful survival. And yet, this journey that I took for 17 years is certainly not going to take other people 17 years because they're not in the same situation that I'm in. And because I have gone through it and I have tried and tested many things. And I can tell you that if somebody would have told me at one point to, Lesley, climb the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty and stand on your head naked and that'll heal you, I would have done it. I looked everywhere for solutions. And then throughout the process, the first 3 years, somebody said to me, was actually a therapist, and she said to me, Lesley, who are you? And when I explained to her, you know, I had 3 kids, I was newly married, I had my own business, life was great, I don't know what the hell just happened, you know, I just don't understand, you know, yeah, I'm having conflicts, you know, with an ex and kids and this, but I said, it just seems like everybody in the world has this same stuff. And yeah, they did, but they didn't handle it the exact way I did, for one. And for another, she said, those are nice attributes, Lesley. Those are nice things about your life. But who are you? Who are you? What makes you you? What do you live for? What are your passions? What are your values? What do you stand for? Why are you here? Friends, I had no idea. I did not know how to answer that question. And it scared the hell out of me. Because I was like, I had lived all this lifetime and didn't even know that was an option. And many people don't. Over the past 17 years, I've asked others, what would you say if I asked you, who are you? And when they said the same thing, I told them the same thing. That that my therapist said to me, those are nice attributes about your life, but who are you? Do you know that most of them, I think, actually every person that I ever asked that question to had the same response that I did. They had no idea what that even meant. So I took the past 17 years and I figured out what that means. And the end result was this beautiful relationship with the Holy Creator. And I wasn't a religious person. In fact, God and I had holy wars when all of this happened to me when I was 40, when I crumbled and melted to nothing. I think of that time as my holy war time with God, because I was angry with him. I had looked for years, and I was the best person I could be, and I forgave and let people, I was forgiving, and giving and giving, and I was doing all this stuff that I thought I was supposed to be doing. And none of it was working. None of it was working. And I would do, I'd pray the prayers, and I would do the rituals, and it didn't bring God to me the way I could see God on other people's faces. And I've looked at many different religions throughout these past 17 years. I've looked at I've looked at the LDS Church. I went Catholicism, to the Lutheran Church. I looked at Sikhism. I looked at I can't even. There were just so many. I even looked at just certain spiritual belief systems that had no attachment to God. That it was live your life all about you, and it was all about science, and just live this scientific life, because there is no God. It's all science, right? Try that too. And it didn't work. And this was my holy war period with God. And I said, that's fine. When I was done, I was done. I said, you know what, God, I'm done. I'm done looking for you. I'm done searching for you in all of these places. I'm broken. I've looked for you. I've done everything I thought I was supposed to be doing for you. And you don't show me. I don't see you. I don't feel you. I don't know you. And I know many people feel the same way. But I told God during our holy wars, I said, that's fine, God. You can deny me all you want. You can deny me. But I will not deny you. And if you exist, then great. Then I guess we'll work it out then when I die. And the reason that came about is because I had gone to when my son had passed away, actually it was when my kid's father and I were getting divorced in the late 1990s. I was really upset. I didn't really know what to do. And I drove to a Catholic church. I saw a cross on the road, and I just kept driving to it. The cross took me to a Catholic church here in Colorado. And I remember going to the door, knocking on it, and then standing outside and talking to the priest and just pouring out my soul to the priest and just saying, how can I believe in God? What do I do? He said 2 sentences to me, changed my life forever. He said, Lesley, let me ask you something. I was like, I just told you everything. How could you ask me? But go ahead. What more do you need to know? And he said, Lesley, what if you believe in God? What if you believe wholeheartedly in God and you lived your whole life for him and you die and there is no God? What have you got to lose? And I thought for a minute, nothing, I'm dead, right? We're dead. The point is mute, right? And then he said to me, but Lesley, what if you lived your whole life ignoring that relationship with God? ignoring that that exists, ignoring that that's part of why you're here, and you die, what have you got to lose? And I said everything. I realized it was everything. And that, my friends, is why I do what I do, because it was a long journey. It's a journey that I can tell you that I have found answers that are so simple, yet we make it so hard. And the end result is the most beautiful thing that anyone could ever experience. This relationship that we are given from God, this beautiful guidance, this love, it's the most beautiful thing that you could ever experience, and it'll carry you through the greatest times in your life, and it'll carry you through the hardest times of your life. But the one thing I can guarantee you for absolute certainty, that my life before them was hard as hell. It was a challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge. And it was to the point where I wanted to give up. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't. I was done. But when I started that, when that relationship started coming in, and when they started communicating with me, the first few years, let me just be honest with you, about the first year and a half, 18 months, I thought I was losing my freaking mind. I didn't even know that this kind of thing even existed. But when you build, and I'm telling you, friends, it's there, it's true, it's real, and it's yours for the taking. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to heal anything. You don't have to go back and do anything. You start right this very minute. Invite them into your life. And I'm telling you, your life will change. Your life will change dramatically. And then there's a healing process, but it's healing forward. It's not looking backwards. It's this process where you heal as you move forward in your life. And you start putting the pieces of yourself together where they belong. Because, my friends, you are the Picasso of your life painting. You are in charge of what goes on your canvas. And if there's a canvas right now that's painted and you don't like what's there, get some kills out and just wipe your slate clean, because that is why Christ was here. Christ died because our sins are forgiven. We're here to learn. We are the ones that hold it against ourselves now. That God doesn't hold it against us. Christ died for everybody's sins. It doesn't matter what religion you are. You're already forgiven. It's you. It's us that holds this stuff from us. And that's when we get to the point in our life and through our journey being divinely led, that we realize that we're going to be making mistakes, and so are other people, and it's okay. And to give grace, limitless compassion, and and unconditional love. But that doesn't mean that somebody needs to stay in your life because you're giving limitless compassion and unconditional love. That means that you get to choose from within yourself what is best for you. And there's a kind and gentle way of letting things go out of your life that no longer serve you. And it's not through harshness, it's not through criticism, and it's like this you just float apart. People just float apart. How many times have you had over your lifetime, you have friends that come in and then they go out because they're all here to teach you something. They're all here to help us learn. And this is about embracing the new normal. And I know this video has been long, but it has a ton of information that I truly know is valuable and will be very advantageous for many. So if you're interested, I have a program. One of the things first before I share this, like I had said before, this is something. This is an inside job, right? This is something we do for ourselves from the inside out. This is something we do for us, because of us, and about us, and we cannot allow anything exterior to define the interior, because that's what's been going on. We've allowed the exterior to define our interior, and that's why we are where we are, not only with ourselves, but with others, right? So this is going to have to be like a huge joint effort and a really great understanding within all of humanity to really get this. And there's going to be a little small group of them, a little small group of them right now. But I truly believe that more of humanity um, can get through this. And we are having this option, and it's the most beautiful journey you will ever go on. One of the things that I think is, when I say that it's about, us, and we have to do this ourselves. While I have this course that I am offering people, and a program, and it's a mentorship to teach you how to find this stuff within you. But one of the key essential things is that when you're done in 7 weeks, you have every tool within you that you need to go on your own. You will never have to look back to me to fix any of that again, because you will have all of the answers within you. There's also an opportunity for you to coming this year. There will be a membership program that holds space for those around the world looking to learn and grow together as one humanity, as one world, one uh, as one, and that we're going to be able to look and at our differences and our similarities, and we're going to be able to pick and choose and decide what makes us us. And we're going to be able to look at other people, and if we don't agree with something that they do, and we don't, that's not what we want in our lives. That's not a part of who we've chosen for us to be on a core level. I'm not talking about on a superficial level about, they don't live in this economics, they're not at this economical status, or they're not, they don't have, they're not of a certain race. I'm not talking about those superficial things. I'm talking about people that are at a core level. This is, what are your morals? What are your values? What do you believe in? What are your ethics? What are your behaviors? What do you think? What do you want? What's important to you? This is on a core soul level that this membership is going to be set up for people to come into these groups and say, we share these basic fundamental things that I stand on and that I believe in and that hold me to me. They are my personal foundations. And when you find like-minded people that have these similar traits, these similar foundational pieces, cling to them, because there's going to be aspects on the outside of them that are far different than you. And those, my friend, are where you are going to learn the most about yourself. And you're going to do it in a safe space. Why is it a safe space? Because you hold those same key fundamental aspects of honesty, of integrity, of trust, of compassion. You hold the same value systems, the same ethics, the same morals. You hold them, and not only do you hold them within you, you live them. You live them authentically. And you are guided authentically. And then you meet these people, and the differences that you see in them, it's going to make it, you are going to look at the world a completely different way. There will be people with the same foundations that are wealthy, that are poor, that have dark skin, that have light skin, that are male, that are female, that are maybe lesbian, maybe they're whatever they are. This planet has 6 generations, and each and every one of us is different. And there's more people on this planet than ever before. And if we're going to continue to look at others with superficial aspects and live lives of conformity, of going with oh, well, they don't fit our image, our exterior image. To hell with what's inside of them. They don't fit our exterior image. They don't work for us. They don't dress the same. They don't have the same skin color. They don't have the same hair color. They aren't at the same economical level, or, they're different. They're a different race, whatever. That aspect, that's got to go. God is not going to tolerate that anymore. Because the key is that each and every one of these aspects of life holds the key to who you are, and who you are authentically, and who you are going to be, and where you're going to become. And who would not want to be looked at? Who in this world right now is not looking to live that authentic life, to live that core essence? And to say, screw that part that I don't look like you, I don't have the same skin color as you, but I still have value. And to be able to look at other people and say, you have value, and see what that value is. Learn who you are from those differences and those similarities. This is what God has us here for. This is why we're here. And it's going to be the most beautiful time in mankind and in history for those who take advantage of embracing their new beginnings. Thank you for joining me in this video. If you'd like to learn more, please look in the description area and register for one of the live master classes that I have on Tuesday, as well as I have it on Tuesday at 11, and I think it's or Tuesday at 10 or 11, and every Tuesday, and I have it also at 7 o'clock on Thursday evening. I'm trying to make it so that people from around the world don't have to stay up incredibly late to attend this. The times are going to be fluctuating probably throughout the year, just so that I can meet the needs of those around the world. By giving, I can stay up later, and you get up earlier, and we can meet in the middle, so that we can grow together as one race. And that's we are all one race, and that's the human race. Whether you live in the United States, you live in Europe, you live in Iceland, you live wherever you live, we are one world. We are one race, and it's the human race. Embrace your new beginnings, and thank you for joining me.